What's up, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. I bet y'all thought I wasn't gonna come to y'all with a Abbott Elementary recap for the season finale, but guess what? You thought wrong. I'm in a different background, but I'm still coming to give my recap of the best show ever to hit the screen. So let's get into the video. All right, y'all. So the show starts off with the students in the school going on their annual field trip or end of the year field trip to the zoo. We've got Ava. We've got all the teachers there. Janine, Jacob, Barbara, and Mel. And the students are going, like I said, it's the annual field trip that they take to the zoo. Just to get some fresh air, to learn some things about animals, and just to have fun. And so at first I'm like, the whole entire school is going on one bus, but I think it was just mainly the first and second grade classes. And of course we have everybody, gathering all their kids together, making sure, everybody is accounted for. We have kids who are standing in the line with permission slips that they have tried to forge signatures on. So Ava took it upon herself to collect, I think it was probably like 5 or 6 kids who didn't have permission slips, so they had to stay behind. And it was funny to me because I was like, never in real life will kids have to stay behind and the principal's gone, all the teachers are gone, and the kids are going to stay with the janitor. Like, that would never happen, but for the sake of TV and because I love the show, I was like, that was cute. So meanwhile, the janitor, he's talking about how when they have field trips, it's like a day off for him, and he's chilling in his little office watching movies and things like that. But here comes Ava with the kids and basically took his little vacation day. And he had to basically be their guardian until everybody got back by the end of the day. And as everybody is getting together and getting on the buses and being accounted for, Greg realizes that he's missing a student, and the janitor brings him a student by the name of Kenny, who is a first grade kid. And the janitor said that he was hiding. He didn't want to go because to him, he knew that the end of the year meant he's going to be promoted. There's going to be change. There's going to be new faces, and he's used to just being with Greg or whatever and his friends from that class. And so Janine she mentioned that in order for him to kind of get used to second grade and kind of, get used to her, how about he be with her group while they're on the field trip? Greg, agrees, and they take it from there. And then we see also, I didn't mention that Jacob's boyfriend, Janine's boyfriend, and Barbara's daughter were 3 of the chaperones to assist with all the children on the field trip. And Ava was like, this isn't a field trip where I told everybody else that needed to know about it. This is something I'm doing. We do it every year, so everybody just be safe. Hopefully all of the chaperones can behave and act right and keep the kids in line. And while everybody's getting in line and getting on the bus, Barbara's asking who has to go to the bathroom. This is your last chance. And she introduces her daughter to everybody, and the students begin to boo her daughter because she said she was from New York, or she lives in New York. And I was just like, does Pennsylvania not like New York, or does Philadelphia not like New Yorkers? I don't know anything about that beef, but it must be some type of inside joke. And then of course Janine's boyfriend was there, and I think his name is Tyreek, and so he was being his Tyreek self, just kind of aloof, like in his own little world. But still, I feel like for the field trip, and he did a good job with taking care of the kids in his own little Tyreek way. And as she was telling us kind of some updated information, because we hadn't seen him since the Dare, well, not Dare, but it's kind of like the Dare to Keep Kids Off Drug campaign that we had back in the 90s, but they call it Fade, and how he did the rapping and stuff like that at the assembly. Well, he had been working very closely with them people, and she was like, he's always, doing a show, and they really like him, so he's have some type of success in this, like, rap career. And so everybody needs to get on the bus. They're headed to the zoo. Then they go back to the school. The kids are kind of, just dancing around. The Mr. Johnson, the janitor, is trying to get them to do, some work for him so he can have a little lazy day. And that's pretty much how the kids decided they would spend that day with him. They called it the Abbott Elementary Breakfast Club. And if you're not familiar with the Breakfast Club, I think that's a movie from the 80s. It's like a group of kids who, I think they were in, like, in-school suspension or something like that. And, they all from different walks of life, and then they became really close after the fact because they all were in that detention together. So so we go back to the zoo, and everybody's just walking around. Barbara's excited because she is going to visit a special animal or lizard of some sort, but it's called a tutora. Am I saying that wrong? I don't know if I am, but I had to look it up to see what it was. But it's a tutora, which is like a nice size animal. I would just say, like, in the family of lizards. And she had told us that basically ever since they've been doing this annual zoo field trip, that particular animal has been, I guess you can say, on display, or been like a big a big sight to see for years, from the moment she began, or the year that she began teaching at Abbott, till now. And she was just like, it was just her favorite animal to go visit. And when she gets there, she's bigging it up, making it a big deal, and then realizes that basically he's getting old, and the people at the zoo retired him. So that made her kind of reflect over her own self, like, I've been working the same amount of time as this animal has been at the zoo. Am I old? Like, am I gonna just be pushed to the side? So she kind of like felt kind of like down about that a little bit. Meanwhile, on the bus, I forgot to mention that Janine and Tyreek were talking, and he had got an email saying that the Fade program wants him to move to New York and have a career with them, and make an album and do other shows at all the schools in New York and all of that. And although she's, they've been together since, I think she said, teenage years, she's excited for him, but then she realizes, he thinks that they're gonna go together, and to her, she doesn't want to change. She doesn't want to move. She's happy where she is. She feels appreciated where she is, and she struggles throughout the episode with coming to terms with the things that she wants, because as we know, with their dynamic of their relationship, she's always put him before her and kind of coddled him in a way, and he kind of took, like, made that in a benefit. Even there was one part, I don't know if you all heard it, but he said, I'm a feminist, that's why I let you do everything, that's why I let you pay for everything, which is not really the true definition of a feminist, and we all know that. But like I said before about him, like, he's one of those, like, leeches, don't really have a plan, and just kind of, she basically carried him along all of those years. And so once she realizes that, he's making all these we statements about we moving to New York and all of that, she's kind of like, I don't want to. And I could tell that she made that decision as soon as she heard that, but coming up to him and actually standing up for herself and saying that and letting him know, like, hey, I don't want this, it was hard for her throughout the entire episode. And so we see that also, because if you remember, Greg and Barbara's daughter kind of went on like a little date one day. And so you see that they have been getting closer because, they were holding each other's hands. They sat together on the bus on the way to the zoo. They were kind of in like a little group together with the students. And Janine kind of noticed it too. But I still feel like there's going to be some type of a romantic relationship that's gonna happen between Greg and Janine. I'm just holding on to it, y'all. Even though she was in a relationship and he's kind of talking to Barbara's daughter, there was still some chemistry there, some little looks here and there, some flirting here and there, just that energy, that vibe, like they like each other, but you know, they're also colleagues, so that kind of like is frowned upon. But I could tell that they really like each other. And so as we go along, you know, people's running around the zoo. Ava's being Ava, taking pictures. She done changed clothes. They're talking about birds and going seeing all other type of animals. And then they realize that they're missing a student. And that student, you guessed it, was Kenny again, the one that was hiding in the beginning. And because he was in Janine's group, you know, she freaked out about it. Now, she found out that he was missing because Tyreek, she had took him to the side and basically wanted to tell him, like, I think we're going in a different direction. I don't want to move to New York. I think we are going two different ways, and, you know, let's just take a break. But she didn't have the courage enough to do it at that particular time. And so the way that he, I guess, had made sure all the students were accounted for, he would say, when I move, you move. And then the kids would say, just like that. And some type of way he could hear, he could hear that everybody was there. But he was like, Kenny's missing. He's the base. I knew it. You're missing one. And so she goes and reports it to the other teachers. So everybody, Barbara is splitting up people. You go here, you look over there, and get the security. We're going to find this kid. And so, even before that, I believe Janine and Barbara had kind of a conversation. Like I said, Barbara was feeling like, if this animal is getting old and we've been working the same amount of years, I'm getting old too. You know, maybe there's changes that need to be made. Maybe I need to, you know, do something different. Maybe, you know, my time is up, and maybe I've just been, you know, just like I said, just thinking that, you know, she's just old and useless and, you know, wrinkled up teacher. And Janine is kind of agreeing with some of the things she's saying as far as her feelings go. And then they made a comment about quitting teaching, and Janine was like, no, I'm not thinking about quitting teaching. Are you? And then Barbara kind of looked like, so to me, I thought she was going to say that she wanted to retire, Barbara, but I think she was just in her feelings about it and just feeling like, you know, like I said, she's feeling old. She's feeling like she's been doing it for years. She's getting tired of it. And it just made me think of like all the teachers that I'm around and that I work with, and how they talk about how things are different, you know, from when they started, and it's just gonna get worse. And, you know, they feel like they don't have the energy for it anymore. They don't have the patience anymore. And, you know, maybe it's time for them to do something different, start another career, or just retire and stay home. But you know, though, that I feel like that comes with the territory, because working with kids is a lot. So we see that everybody is looking around the zoo for Kenny. Barbara mentions that he could possibly be in this hot air balloon that the zoo has, and lo and behold, that's where he was. And guess who had to go in there and get him? Janine. And because we all know she's afraid of heights, she's the one that has to go in there and get him. And as soon as she goes in and sits down and finds him and talks to him, the guy that is running the hot air balloon closes it and says, once you're in here, you're in here. I can't let you out. And then they begin to go up in the air, and she's freaking out, and she has this conversation, which is basically like a conversation that she's telling herself as well. Like, you don't have to be afraid of change. Sometimes doing things different is uncomfortable, but it develops you. It helps you. It develops you. It helps you grow. It helps you to see that, you know, things aren't as bad as you're thinking that they are. And once you just do it, you'll see like, hey, this is me. I can do it. And like I said, it was kind of like a revelatory, I don't know if that's a word, but it was kind of like a light bulb went off, because like I said, she's telling this to him, but it also applies to her life and her situation as well, when it comes to her not wanting to be with Tyreek anymore, and that they're going in two separate places, and feeling like he was her comfort zone and vice versa, and not wanting to move on for the sake of just history and all those things. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is hitting home. Because I told you, I see a lot of myself in Janine. So finally, she has this talk with him, and she eventually stands up, because the whole time they're sitting down, because like I said, she's deathly afraid of heights. And she's sitting down, and she stands up, and she looks over, and she's like, I did it. And then we see everybody cheering, like, yay, once they land, like, you did it, you did it, you did it. And she has this sense of, like, power and this courage and this bravery, like, I can do anything, I can be by myself, I can accomplish things, I don't have to carry the weight of people who I feel as though is dragging me down anymore. I'm gonna do this. So we see that she goes off and she has a conversation with Tyreek and lets him know, I don't want to be with you anymore, we need to take a break. And it hurt him a little bit, but did y'all listen to what he said when he gave her a hug? If you didn't, go back and look. He gonna talk about, does this mean I can smash people when I live in New York? Is that really the first thing that you think about? Dudes are a trip. But, I mean, that's how some people are. So, I feel like that situation, I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. If he's going to remain like a character on the show, kind of in and out. But she broke it off. And even once everybody figured out, like, hey, we found him, we're happy, it's time to go. Mel told Barbara, like, hey, you're not a Tuatara, I think that's how you say it. You're not a lizard. You're not old. Nobody's gonna put you in the back. Nobody's forgetting about you. Like, we love you. We want you around, and you still got a lot of teaching to do. You still got a lot of fight in you. You still got a lot of left for you. So, Abbott Elementary is your home, so you're not going anywhere. And Barbara agreed, and she felt good about it. And then we see that Janine also is feeling good about the decision that she made. She's putting herself first. She's saying that, I feel appreciated at Abbott. I feel like I can accomplish anything. I feel like this is my home. Change is scary, but change is necessary. It develops you. It helps you grow. It matures you. And basically, like, I got this. And I also can relate to that because I'm in a situation to where I started off with the school district at one particular place when the pandemic first started, and the second day of school, I had to go and help out a school in early childhood that was not fully staffed. And when I tell y'all, I was so upset, I was so mad, I was so used to this place. I love the area, I love the kids, I love being around those teachers, well, some of them, and I just felt like, but I had to humble myself. I had to learn how to stand on my own. I had to get out of my comfort zone. And after a couple of weeks, because like I said, it was only supposed to be temporary, I done been here. It's about to be the end of school next month. So I feel at home. I feel that I was placed in this position to see, like, next level. And I have been in the works of getting things together so that I can go back to school and get my degree in teaching. And I've learned a lot. I've been learning a lot of Spanish. I've been because we have a big Spanish population at this school that I am at. I've learned a lot about leadership, being able to step in and not just allowing because I'm an assistant teacher to just feel as though I just play the shadows and play the background. And a lot of people have poured into me and told me, like, you need to go back to school because this is, like, so easy for you. This is a gift that you have. This is, just something that you should have been doing. But, like I said, and like they showed in this show, like, things happen, changes happen so that you can grow, so that you can develop. And I'm so other areas of my life in the past years have shown me this exact same thing. So I like I said, I relate to Janine a lot in that situation, even with her boyfriend. And like she said, at the end of the day, they're gonna be fine. Abbott is home. Though, things may not be perfect, that's what she loves to do. That's where she loves the people that she works with. She loves the students, and vice versa, even though they can get on each other's nerves, because that's what family does. And and you just see how everybody is going to be, how everybody is looking forward to the new school year, and for us, the new season. We also see that, Janine learned that Greg is going to be permanent, because you remember last episode he had, had the email, did the interview and all that, and was offered the job, but he finally got his permanent position. He got his Abbott Elementary ID, and that was pretty much the show. Just about everybody, coming together, everybody growing, and everybody looking forward to more and more success. And we even saw that when the kids started getting rowdy, Janine didn't just sit back and let them rock all over her. She stood up and was like, "Hey, calm down and sit down." And everybody was just like, "Oh my gosh, like, you really are stepping into who you are. You showing that, like, you ain't nothing to be played with." And Barbara kind of looked at the camera like, yeah, she's coming along. She's getting the hang of it. So I am so excited. And then at the very end, we see that the students who stayed back at the school with the Mr. Johnson, the custodian, they wrote a letter because he told them to write a paper about who their favorite hero was. And they felt like that assignment was stupid. So they decided to tell him that in this paper that their heroes are their teachers, and talks about how, some of them can't afford this or that, some of them don't get the accolades that they deserve, but they love us, they take care of us, they support us, they teach us, they encourage us, and they really try to make a difference, and they really do make a difference in our life. So that was like a shout out to all the teachers, I'm sure, to let them know that we are important. And if it wasn't for us, a lot of people wouldn't know nothing. And I feel like teachers, as careers, they get kind of put at the bottom of the totem pole. They don't get all that they deserve. But I'm just glad that this show highlights that, and it also highlights the love and the compassion that teachers have. And just, like I said, this show also just made me want to go back to school even more, because even though there are complaints and there are things that could be better, these kids still need to know that there are people out there who care. And that was one of my reasons as to why I loved school back in the day, especially elementary school, and why I love the elementary school that I am at now. And I look forward to what else is going to come for my life as a teacher, and as the future seasons of ABC's #1 comedy, Abbott Elementary. And this was an awesome season finale. If I missed anything, remind me of it in the comments, y'all. I didn't get to watch it last night, so I had to watch it this afternoon on Hulu, but it was awesome. And if you all have not watched any other of my recaps, they're on my channel in a special playlist all together, and it's also streaming on Hulu. So shout out to Quinta Brunson, job well done. And this has been the season 1 finale recap of Abbott Elementary. Remember to like, share, subscribe, tell your friend, and tell a friend about me. And I'll see y'all for season 2. Peace.